I have made myself the manager of Spurs.
Don't do this! You can't do this!
To see if we can win them a trophy for the first time since 2008.
Unlucky.
I definitely doubt I'll play a back three with a defence that bad either.
All the bloody resistance of a poppadom catching a bowling ball.
Maybe I am being too harsh on Spurs, but this task isn't going to be easy with the board demands and of course the new inclusion of the supporters' expectations being added to FM23. Which, by the way, use code OMEGA at 2game.com, get yourself a discount if you haven't picked up the game yet for around about £32, and you help me as well. I'll leave a link in the description. But there is an expectation of being competitive against Chelsea and finishing above Arsenal in the league, something they are currently failing to do in real life. But will Daniel Levy and his perfectly bald head give me enough time to win the Premier League? Well, we have around £26 million to spend this summer. And tactically, I have kept it very simple, using a 4-2-3-1 asymmetric. And I don't want to use too many instructions or overcomplicate things until I really understand more about this match engine. And looking through the squad planner, our weakest positions is definitely in defence, with all three positions needing a bit of an upgrade. Next season at left back though, we have two players out on loan who will return to the club. So really, we just need to be focusing on centre back, which is only covered by Longlay's loan deal, and a right back. And using the new features, we can create a new recruitment focus and search for a better right back to begin with as a top priority, making sure we are looking for players our scouts value as better players than what we already have at the club. And while we are here, we might as well also hunt for a left-sided centre-back too with a bit of quality and see what our scouts can find us this summer. Even the Spurs players are being less than ambitious. They were first off happy when I said to qualify for the Champions League, but almost acted offended when I said I'll get to go to the business end of the Champions League this season.
I'm stunned.
Taking a look at our right back recruitment focus, and we already have a player found in Castagna from Leicester, but there is 9 near matches which some look like good options. Vanderson I'm a big fan of, but he is rather expensive, and as you can see, we do have attribute Mascadon. Montiel is a good defender, but less than so going forward, and Mwene, he's a bit of a backup at most. Clinton Mata was also a good option too, but he very soon turns 30, so I think I'd rather go for another option. I made Harry Kane captain and Højbjerg as vice captain, and that's because Lloris, he didn't want anything to do with it. First game of the season is Brentford away. And with Richarlison suspended, Perisic starts from the left-hand side with Son up top and Harry Kane as a shadow striker. Midfield was a tricky decision between Højbjerg and Bentancur, but the Dane drops down to the bench this time round. And things started brilliantly when Son was slotted in to open the scoring after just 5 minutes. Harry Kane then popped in the second from the penalty spot, but 2 minutes later, new free signing Perisic played a ball across for Harry Kane to get his brace. But Brentford wasn't going down without swinging, and Ivan Toney leaped highest to score a header. In the second half, deja vu once again as Ivan Toney scored another powerful header. What a player he is, by the way. Thankfully, we realised we needed to book our ideas up, and Perisic got on the score sheet himself to return our 2-goal lead. And the game was finished off when Dejan Kulusevski picked up the 5th goal for Spurs and the final goal of the game. Ironically, I'm here looking for a right back, and Doherty played a massive part in our match, with the majority of attacks coming from his side. Upon looking at my squad, I noticed Everton are interested in Emerson Royale, which, I'll be honest, I'll be more than happy to sell with them, especially if we get close to his value of £30 million, so I offered them to him. Everton came back declining to make an offer, which is weird, but fair enough, and Inter Milan, they come in for Lucas Moura for £10 million. Considering he only has a year left on his deal, I'm going to accept it. And Lucas Moura leaves. He was on a high wage too, which helped my decision. I'm going to utilise the recruitment focus again, and we're going to look for a winger for the future. With Lucas Moura leaving and Son being 30 years of age, we need to find a player or two for the future with a good potential. Watford's João Pedro is an option that's already in the recommendations, which I am tempted with, I must be honest. Even after Yves Bissouma went on an incredible run against Wolves in the next match to give us the lead, the points were shared when Guedes deflected a shot and it went in on the 69th minute. But following that, we absolutely destroyed Forest 5-0 with Richarlison starting for the first time and scoring. And that came from a deep cross by Doherty, which caught Henderson in goal in no man's land. Ben Davies, however, picked up a hip injury and is now going to miss a big chunk of the season, unfortunately. Another new feature in this game is the Player of the Week news, and there's no shock, it's on Erling Haaland, who scored 4 goals against Arsenal. And we actually face the other side of Manchester next at Old Trafford. My scouts have found me a very talented winger in Andre Sheldrup, and for £7.6 million, I have to take a gamble there. However, didn't expect him to be unobtainable though, he's just signed a new deal. Our scouts recommended Wilfried Single for that right back position, and again, the price of the player looks too good to turn down. So I went in and got a bid accepted. And Champions League time, listen to this. Absolutely beautiful. We are in pot 2 and we get drawn in Group A alongside Ajax. Bayer Leverkusen then join us as the third team, and Club Brugge is the final team to do so. The Manchester United game did not start great when a mistake at the back led to Jadon Sancho running through, and Christian Romero, who looked like he won the ball, gave away a penalty and even received a straight red card, which is not great. Bruno Fernandes stepped up and slotted home the penalty after just 5 minutes. And we ended the game with 9 players when Perisic got a second yellow in an abysmal 3-0 loss to the team I actually support.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
We did come back to claim 3 points against Leeds, however, when their defender smacked the ball against Richarlison and it went in. It does mean after 5 games we're in 4th place, 5 points behind City, who have Haaland already on 11 goals, which is disgusting. It is deadline day though, and we still haven't signed a player yet. We are still waiting for Single to sign, and even players collecting interest are a weird one, with Lloris is interested from Leicester. Finally, Single signs, and overall I think it's a great signing. Definitely get some starts and develop quite nicely. I did panic though and signed a centre-back without much knowledge on him. Chitalo for around £23 million. For what I can see though, he still looks a quality player, and only at the age of 22, I think it's worth the gamble. I also transfer listed Emerson Royale after signing Single, and Newcastle came in with a great offer for a loan, with a mandatory future fee at the end of the season, which I of course accepted. Annoyingly though, he rejected the offer. Transfer window closed, and Manchester City signed 3 more players in Marino, Castagne and Gabigol as a backup for Erling Haaland, as if they didn't need more quality. Harry Kane then bagged himself a hat-trick against Fulham away in the following match, whilst playing up front, finishing it off with a lovely penalty. He even assisted the 4th of the 4-1 win when Kulusevski scored an absolute peach. Chitalo, by the way, a lot better than I expected and could still improve in the future as well. But for now, let's enjoy the Champions League matchday experience and put goosebumps on our arms listening to the incredible Champions League anthem once again. We went on and won the game against Bruges 6-1, with Heung-min Son scoring 2 fabulous individual goals from the left-hand side, cutting in on his right foot. The rest of September seen us defeat Palace 1-0, draw 0-0 with Ajax away, and a bad loss to early overachievers Aston Villa 3-2 at home. And that sees them level on points with us. We clinch onto our 4th spot, but look down the bottom of the table. Arsenal there, struggling big time already in 16th position. 16th! A trip to Goodison Park can be difficult, but Son opened the scoring with a beautiful long-range effort. It just wasn't Everton's day when Richarlison's strike from range also flew in, and we rounded off a perfect 3-0 away win with a goal by Kulusevski. Harry Kane then scored a hat-trick and a 4-0 win against Leverkusen in the Champions League. But it was Pep's Manchester City who ended our run with a 94th minute 1-0 win. And more bad results came when Chelsea battered us 3-0 with goals from Kai Havertz, Jorginho from the penalty spot, and Aubameyang got the 3rd. That was after a 0-0 draw with Brighton, and with our North London rivals Arsenal up next. That also puts us down in 6th place with Chelsea, United and Villa all going ahead. And Haaland's on 20 goals after 12 games. And some people say that FM isn't realistic enough. So going into the Arsenal match, we played Harry Kane despite him being a risk for fitness, as everybody is struggling with the schedule. Son goes to the left and Richarlison is starting up front. But it was substitute Perisic who scored scored the only goal of the game and gave us the win. And with a 3-1 home win against Ajax and a 5-0 Tonkin away to Leicester, we ended October with 3 wins on the bounce. Harry Kane then scored an outrageous chip in the Champions League, and Sessegnon got his first of the season, and our winning run continues. Up until Dominic Solanke scored the Bournemouth winner in a 3-2 loss. What was the keeper doing there? We defeated Stoke in the Carabao Cup, and it's just Liverpool left before the World Cup break. I then noticed Conte had been announced as the new manager of Chelsea. What the hell happened to Graham Potter, you ask? Well, they are only down in 8th place, which is a lot better than where Arsenal find themselves, still in 16th. 16th! They had also binned off Arteta and are still using a caretaker manager. So this is the team we put out against Liverpool then, and once again we are risking players with a lot of fitness troubles because everybody is struggling with fitness troubles, as this is our last game before the break after all. And things could not have started any better when Yves Bissouma scored in the first minute of the match. Harvey Elliott played through Darwin Nunez, who powerfully ran through and put it past Reece, who, again, I have no idea where he's going.
He is atrocious, isn't he?
But in the 81st minute, Perisic fired in our second and we took the lead again. Much to our disbelief, Perisic then found Bissouma in stoppage time for a third. And Yves Bissouma teed up Heung-min Son for the 4-1. What a performance. And after those heroics, we sit 4 points behind Aston Villa in 5th place, with City still leading the way, and Haaland has on 24 goals, which is more than 13 teams in the league. Harry Kane has 21 goals in 23 games so far, so he goes into the World Cup on fine form. We will finish the season in the next episode, so if you can smash 2,000 likes, I'll try and get out to you as quick as possible, but if it is out, I'll pop it up on the screen right here for you to click. Enjoy.